Last week on Exploring Off the Grid, the team left Nathan to his adventures at the Mitchell River and headed over to the Hann River to catch up with Woodsy and Renee. At the Hann, they were joined by Ree and Aaron from Airbag Man, who even brought their own coffee guy. Now that's camping. After the Coffee Express headed south, the team were given a mission from Woodsy to find and recover a vehicle that was properly stuck on the property. After coming up with a plan and the mechanical team getting their end of the bargain done, it's now time for the recovery team to see if they can get this vehicle back on the track for Woodsy. This is Exploring Off the Grid.
We done all we can do. So now, how about you come and get it out of here, eh? It's not perfect, Matt. It's on. The thread is stripped, but the nut's holding on, so we have steering, mate. So you just got to be wary that it's not on.
Hey, Jono, before you guys come up, we'll come down there and let's all push it back up against that tree because we're going to bring it up through here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. Get it all in. Get it all in. Get it all in.
It's got no brakes, mate. It's got nothing.
You're driving this and you should be used to it. You're still learning to drive.
Matt basically stepped up and took charge of the situation. He's probably got the most experience in that area.
As a team, we decided that the best plan was to use the truck as the main winch vehicle to winch the Landcruiser up the hill. And we would use the 200 series as the secondary winch vehicle, which would give us a secondary anchor point should we need to disconnect the truck for some reason. And it would also give us the ability to keep the cruiser on its wheels because it would want to roll at the angle we were going to pull it up there.
We all had our own little jobs. My particular job was just to set some of the recovery gear up on the truck end because I know the truck quite well and what it can do. And then from there, I was just scouting Matt, talking to Matt. Matt was then relaying information to all the others involved.
Well, I was very surprised that the team was happy to get me in hands-on. You know, obviously with the skills in the camp at the moment, I'm not mechanically minded. You know, I thought, I'm just going to be, pretty useless here. I'm just going to be a supervisor like Rick standing on the hill watching over his little minions. But it was awesome. There was no hesitation. It was like, Ree, this is your role, like jump in, let's do it.
There's two main reasons you're going to use a double line winch pull. First is you need more winching power. That's not the case here. We've got a 20,000 pound winch in the truck. The second reason, and that's what we're using here, is we want to slow the winching down. So by putting a double line pull in, we'll slow the winch procedure down and that gives us a greater level of control.
So in my team, we had four members. So we had Rick, who was going to obviously drive his truck and look after his winch. We decided to put Ree into the 200 series so that she could look after my vehicle and my winch. And we put Chris as my second set of eyes from the other side of the recovery. So the four of us during the recovery had control. One of the key rules was that I was the only person that Ree and Rick listened to, and Chris would talk to me. So all information processed through me. And it's not about me being super control or anything, it's about there being a clear line of communication so we didn't have the wrong things happening.
The reason we're hooking a winch up to this part of the vehicle is because we're going to be going on quite a side angle, we don't want the vehicle to roll. So it gives us a second winch that we can control and help make the recovery a lot easier.
All right, team, I reckon it's time to get this happening. I'm sure Woodsy's wondering what's taken us so long.
Okay, Rick, winch in. Okay, stop. Ree, winch in. And stop. Rick, winch in.
But I've seen a few recoveries done. I've never actually seen them done though with 2 winches. So to actually see it done with 2 winches done in 2 different directions was actually a really good experience.
Rick in, re in. Re stop, Rick in.
And to actually watch how Matt controlled the teams in doing that was really, really eventful as well, because it gave me a good insight on obviously ensuring that everyone was safe and that everyone was doing it the right manner.
Get you to do 1 tap on your winch, 1 tap only. Re in. Re in. Yep, re in. Re in. The recovery actually went textbook in the sense that nothing failed, that what we intended to happen did happen, bar the tree that the vehicle didn't come above the tree like we thought it would, so we had to chop that small tree out. Being private property, we were allowed to do that. So you know, we tried not to, but we had to. That was the only thing that didn't really go to plan. Aside from that, it was textbook. We were absolutely stoked. Re in. All right, stop. All right, well done guys, we're up.
Yeah.
So Aaron, we jumped him into the driver's seat so that I could look after the engine bay side of things and he would, you know, drive the vehicle for us. So that worked out really well, except that the car wouldn't start. We cranked it over and it just cranked. So I worked out a trick many years ago when we were down in some cold country, and a 4Runner wouldn't start this day because the glow plugs wouldn't work on it. I worked out this trick of using a fire lighter or a flame to fire it up. Okay, crank it! Obviously it's not the sort of thing you want to do at home because, you know, you might burn your car down, but on this old girl, and it's Woodsy's anyway.
Yeah, so we had this unknown ranger just pop out of the bush, an unnamed character, still to this day. Absolutely loves Toyotas, so he wanted to get in and drive it back to the Roadhouse himself, and we just sort of stood back and let him fly. It was like an eagle just soaring in the distance.
All yours, mate. All right, you got it back, eh? Don't you say I've never, ever done anything for you.
I've got a problem though.
Tell me.
You scratched it.
The team are spending a few days at the Hann River, and after a successful recovery of Woodsy's 75 series, it's time to set up camp and kick back to enjoy this cracker little spot.
So we're towing the WeGo from Bushwhacker. It's a pop-top hybrid with 2 bunks and a double bed on board. The brilliant thing about it was the first part of the trip I had my family, so I had my husband and my daughter with me, and for the rest of the trip it's just kind of, you know, me and storage and kitchen, shower, that kind of thing. One thing I love about it is just the ease of use. I'm not an experienced caravanner. You know, we've had very simple setups with rooftop tents previously, and this is honestly setup is quicker than a rooftop tent. So easy, and it's honestly bigger than you think it's going to be.
We've got an iCamper on the back as well, a rooftop tent that's coming quite handy.
We set up base camp. Rick likes to call it Rick's camp because it's not on the main track. It's over the river, up on the other side. So it's got a little lean-to, but it's just an easy to get to place where we can set up a base camp and go exploring the Hann River.
Renee and I have run the Hann River now for 5 seasons. It's been very challenging to do what we've done. We've improved the place from virtually nothing to what it is now, which is, we really enjoy it. We love our lifestyle there, bringing up the kids on land where they can explore and do things and disappear from us where we can't find them. Yeah, we just really enjoy it, we do.
The next morning, everyone's up early, getting ready for the next part of our adventure. Topping up the fuel tanks and getting one more hot Hann River brekkie on board before we head off. It looks like our little convoy has also gained an extra member, with Woodsy deciding to take a few days off to join us on this next leg.
Well guys, that was a great stay at the Hann River as per always. Next stop Palmerville Station, and from there we'll set up a base and we might go out and do Old Coach Road.
So, Woodsy, how do you reckon the vehicles are going to go on Old Coach Road? We've got a bit of a motley crew of a convoy here. How do you reckon each one's going to handle it?
Well, it'll be interesting. It's definitely a challenging track here, and I reckon it's one of the best wheel drive tracks off Camber and rocks. But
definitely be interesting with the trucks going through there. I don't think I've seen anything that big go through.
These trucks will be alright, mate. Very capable, but yeah, the size is the issue. But we'll see how we go, eh?
Well, the good thing about it all is that we've now allowed the world to start rotating again, because we've got 2 Toyotas on the trip, so everything's back to the way it should be.
Might as well just make it about a Toyota show by the sounds of it.
The crew are heading for Palmerville Station, which is a massive 330,000 acre cattle station located southwest of Laura. Not only will their campgrounds be the crew's staging point for taking on the infamous Old Coach Road, but Palmerville has a whole lot more going on than first meets the eye, and the team are keen to check it all out.
when I heard the boys were coming to Palmerville, I just thought, awesome. My great-grandparents, grandparents, my grandmother on my mum's side was born in Palmerville. Big connections. We've spread ashes at Palmerville Station. A lot of the graves around I'm related to, so I just wanted to really come to land where they grew up, just to see more of it that I haven't seen from the side of the road.
So the scenery coming in here was quite different to what we'd experienced in the west. Where we'd come from Burketown through to Kowanyama, it was very flat and sandy. Coming in today had a different vibe to it. It was, you know, rocky mountains, it was red dirt, very hilly as well. And there was some cool stuff along the way. So we pictured a couple of telegraph poles, and then after speaking to Woodsy, he mentioned that they're the same telegraph poles that go all the way up to the Cape. So the old telly track is named as part of that. So yeah, it was pretty cool to see them today.
I've never been to this part of the Cape, and I've never understood the mountains that are here, and I love mountains. So I thoroughly enjoyed the drive. I would definitely want to come back into this area.
The road, I was quite surprised. I didn't think we were going up the elevation that quick, but basically as soon as we turned off the PDO, probably within 20 minutes we started climbing. And you're actually driving on the top of the ridge cap the whole way along, and the view, yeah, I didn't think it was going to be like that at all.
Alright crew, we're just descending down this bit of a decline into the Palmer River.
Yeah mate, definitely a change in scenery. I hear there's a bit of gold around here too, eh?
Have you ever done any prospecting, mate?
I've been on like one of those little tours where, you know, I think they put fake gold in the pan or something. I did something like that once, but have you got a metal detector?
I certainly do. The opportunity arises, I'm keen to get it out and give it a test.
The team have made it to the Palmerville campgrounds, and what a cracking spot this is. Right on the banks of an epic barra-filled dam. Jono's got a few pots in for yabbies, and the ATW boys have thrown a line in. But it looks like Woodsy and Rick have decided to take a slightly different approach and have commandeered the Tinger. This doesn't look good.
Got myself a croc. Fish croc.
Palmerville Station. It's a pretty impressive place, and it's jam-packed with history. Today, the team have decided to divide and conquer, with Matt, Chris, Ree and Jono taking the buggies to meet up with the local rangers, and Nick, Rick, Aaron and Woodsy trying their hand at a bit of gold mining with the campground caretaker Frog.
Yeah, so when we first rolled into Palmerville campgrounds, we met Frog, who's the caretaker, and we spotted an NPS out the corner of our eye. We come around, it was actually Frog's truck. So we'd done all the chassis work, we'd done the wheel, suspension, the bar work. Yeah, so once we got chatting to Frog and after we sort of ran through a few things about his truck, he offered to take us gold prospecting.
Mate, thanks for having us here.
Yeah, no worries.
Mate, tell us a bit about Palmerville Station.
There was a gold rush here in 1873, and there, apparently in this area there's something like 20-odd thousand people, Chinese, I guess Europeans, and everyone walked in here from Cooktown, I believe. Palmerville itself, this is renowned as a cattle station. Yep. You can see just down the bottom, down here, there's an old remnants of a tin mine there. There's some structure. There's some core samples lying on the ground and a boiler up on the side of the hill. Basically, our campground is for detectorists and gold fossickers.
So yeah, Frog, that's pretty cool, but I reckon let's go and try and find some gold nuggets, eh?
You feeling lucky?
Oh, look, we'll give it a crack and see how we go. Might be beginner's luck.
You know, this gold detecting stuff, you know, it's hit and miss.
Yeah, but you got to be in it to win it.
Let's leave our budding gold miners for a moment and see how Matt, Ree, Chris and Jono are getting along.
We're cruising along the track. We had it lined up that we would meet the rangers along the road. So we come up round a bend and here they were parked beside the road. So we all got out and Uncle Danny and Brad, who's a ranger, dead set, fantastic people. They were more than welcoming for us.
How you going?
G'day mate, how you going? Brad, pleased to meet you.
Brad.
G'day.
Yeah, this is Timmery.
The same way.
G'day, how are you going?
Good,
Brad.
mate.
Hello, Timmy.
G'day, how are you? Pleased to meet you.
Nice
Brad, pleased to meet you. So today I want to take you down to the limestone. It's an ancient reef system that we've got down here. It's a very special place for us, a very cultural place. And you'll see some artwork, some beautiful caves, and some beautiful scenery down there. And you get to see what we protect.
Oh, wait, we were just wrapped, actually come to drive in here, the changed landscape.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
It's the way it changes there, it's incredible. And the places that we're going to go and have lunch today, there's like a rainforest.
Really?
Yeah.
All the way out here.
All the way out here, yeah.
Wow.
So we'll go and sit down in there and the kids can have a swim or you can clean up if you like. So this is Alice Burich. Alice Burich is our archaeologist. Every time we go into these sensitive places, we always bring her with us, just so we can do a bit of research as well at the same time.
Regards to Palmerville Station, it's probably a very unique situation. It actually is a ranger station inside the property. They work very closely together, the Indigenous Ranger, TOs, with the owner of the property. We had access to a lot of places that we normally would not get access to.
Well, the history of our people. Well, you know, when the Europeans first discovered gold here, it was pretty much the beginning of the end of our people. So they were all rounded up and shipped off to missions like Mona Mona Mission, Yarrabah, Palm Island, and a few others. And it's, yeah, no one's really returned ever since then, you know, until now, until the ranger program has sort of come back into full swing.
It's pretty cool country out through here, and we're just starting to get into the limestone section. So we've got a big outcrop over there behind the camera there. We've got the massive mountains over this way, and yeah, I think we must be getting pretty close.
It started with me and Darren Pearson, the owner of Palmerville Station, having a yarn and seeing how we could return people back to country and provide employment at the same time. So it was me and him who basically just started pushing in the government to see if we were going to be successful. And we got one grant for 12 months, $50,000 to run a program. And then after that, because it was so successful, we are now funded through the Queensland government. Yeah, so rediscovering our culture is just, you know, us returning back to country and giving us some purpose and and vision, you know, for where we're supposed to be in this world.
So after speaking to Brad and the family, community of the Western Yallinji Ranges, we very much got a sense that they want to welcome this up. They want to bring their own people back, and they want to bring other people in as well, to understand their history, what's gone on, and also to open it up, to make it useful land and to get everyone to connect to what they have known throughout all the years of what makes this land so special to them.
Brad had his wife, had their children here. So they brought the children along to actually get them back on country, to teach them what they know of the land, of the history of the Indigenous in the area. So to me personally, that's a really good thing. Actually, the kids are eager to learn, they're eager to teach.
Walking into those caves, it was a really emotional experience, I guess. Like Brad had discussed some of the paintings on the wall, the fact that no one had really been in there at all prior to us. There'd been some archaeologists gone in there prior, but to the general public, no one had gone in there. So it was a great opportunity, and yeah, I guess really respectful of Brad for showing us in there, and yeah, appreciate it.
One experience that really stood out to me was rolling into the limestone caves with Uncle Danny and Brad, and knowing that that was such a special place for them. You know, they've literally got elders buried there. For obvious reasons, we didn't go to those particular locations. It was quite heartbreaking to know that that was their history, but because so much of it has been lost with people being taken away and put in missions and that kind of thing, you know, they couldn't tell us the story or the meaning behind that artwork. They knew it was their people that did it, and they knew that it was there, and they want to preserve it and they want to show people, but you know, they were quite transparent about the fact that they don't know the purpose, and they're learning it at the same time that we are.
Which is funny, you know, it's such a small little site, but there's actually some really interesting. So there's the painting, and you can see that there's layers of paintings being painted over the top of each other with the orange and the red and the white outline. And then there's these abrasions that have been done in all different directions.
I know, so and the angles and everything.
That's amazing to me. That's an artwork that someone has made. Who knows how it was made or why it was made, we don't exactly know.
Having Alice there as the archaeologist to bring her kind of educated take in on it as well was really amazing.
I became an archaeologist from an interest in rock art. I was working as a tour guide in a rock art area that's on Possum Country, which is Uncle Danny's estate. And to be here 20, 30 years later, to be working on country with Uncle Danny and with the Western Yallinji people, it's just amazing. We've been doing lots of projects over the last 10 years or so in lots of different parts of the Yallinji estate. They've got a really big cultural estate. So every time we come out, there's a different group of people. We explore different places, and we're using. I bring along the old records that have been collated from the past, from past archaeological investigations, and we're using those to re-find the sites and to record them from a Yallinji perspective.